Women up to the age of 42 and same-sex couples could be allowed IVF treatment on the NHS for the first time.
Updated guidelines have come from the National Institute of Clinical Excellence, but there are concerns that some in the NHS will refuse to implement them.
Joining us in the studio this afternoon are Natalie and Ashling Phillips. They run the country's only gay fertility centre based in Sutton Coldfield, and they have 2 children. And ladies, thank you very much for joining us here on Boulton. Natalie, these guidelines that have come out, do you think they're going to have a significant impact?
I think that what they'll do is, give equality for all women across the board, so these same-sex couples that have been for treatment before and been refused can now use these as a foot, to get the treatment that they deserve.
In terms of, do you think you'll see a rise in numbers coming to your clinic because of this ruling, or is it more about breaking down barriers and same-sex couples having the same rights as heterosexual couples?
I think it'll be more down to breaking down barriers. I mean, we send a lot of our clients out to Genevieve in Madrid simply because the waiting lists are too long here, so it's easier to send them abroad and get the treatment started straight away.
So how common has it been for people to be refused this treatment because they're gay?
I think it differs depending on sort of what local trust you fall under, really. Some couples have very positive experiences, other women have had no luck whatsoever on the NHS, so it is, like they say, with lots of issues to do with the NHS, a little bit of a lottery. Because
it's fair to say, isn't it, whatever your personal circumstances, that it's very inconsistent, the access to this treatment across the country.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully this has been passed, which is great for equality, but hopefully all couples will get sort of more consistent treatment regardless of what trust they fall under, and that will be sort of our main hope, really, for these new guidelines.
And actually, at the end of the day, it all comes down to money, doesn't it? As Ashling was just saying, NHS trusts differ, and it's going to depend on their budget, because regardless of your sexual persuasion, if that health trust says our budget can't stretch to that, you'll be refused.
Yeah, I mean, we hear this all the time where, people are waiting on lists and another year has passed and they still can't get the treatment, and this goes on, and that's why we always recommend that, you pay privately and at least you start the treatment at an age, where you're still capable, really. I mean, as you go later into your 30s, it's more difficult to conceive anyway.
Well, that's an interesting point, because another aspect of what NICE has said today is that they want to extend access to up to the age of women 42. Does that mean that it's actually getting better clinically, the treatment, and that it's more viable to go ahead with those treatments up to that stage?
Yeah, there's been lots of advances in the fertility field recently that have meant that the techniques and technology available is much better, so the success rates are obviously a lot higher. I think couples as well, they're not planning to have children until much later on in life because they're sort of getting their career sorted, they're making sure they're financially stable and that sort of thing, so it means at the age where couples
that's interesting though, isn't it? Because in a sense, by delaying having children, you're imposing a cost on everyone else because you need this treatment.
I think it swings in roundabouts. So if you're not financially stable when you choose to have a family, that can put sort of more stress and more of a burden on the family, whereas if you wait a little bit longer, then you put a stress somewhere slightly different. So I think whichever way you look at it, I think the new guidelines are a positive step forward for same-sex couples and also for those women who choose to have their children slightly later.
And Natalie, just briefly, we've been talking about the cost of IVF, and everybody knows it's expensive, but how much can it cost? How would it be different to go privately to how much it would cost the NHS to provide for a woman?
Based on the fact that we send a lot of our clients abroad, it's 3,000 to 4,000 per cycle, whereas in the UK you're probably paying 2,000 to 3,000 more in the UK. So, it usually does work out better to go privately and go to another country and get it done in Europe than having it done here.
Okay, Natalie and Ashling, thank you very much for your thoughts on this today. Thank you.
Thank you.